Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone disrespects you? Maybe they belittle you, make rude comments, or undermine your value in front of others. It's frustrating, right? It can feel like a direct attack on your dignity, and instinctively, you might want to fight back, react, or retaliate. But here's the truth. Reacting impulsively only gives power to their disrespect, and it steals your peace. In today's fast-paced world, we're constantly interacting with people, and not everyone will treat us with kindness or respect. So, the question is, how can you stay grounded and strong when you feel disrespected? How do you maintain your inner peace without letting others' negativity dictate your mood or actions? That's where Stoic philosophy comes in. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy practiced by great minds like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, provides powerful wisdom on how to handle moments of disrespect. It teaches us to focus on what we can control, not what we can't. It helps us see challenges, including disrespect, as opportunities to grow stronger. And most importantly, it teaches us how to remain calm, resilient, and dignified, regardless of how others behave. Today, we're going to explore 5 key Stoic principles that can completely transform how you handle disrespect. You'll learn how to respond to negativity with grace, how to maintain your emotional control in the face of rudeness, and how to ultimately stay true to yourself, no matter what others say or do. So, if you're tired of letting other people's behavior get under your skin, if you're ready to take control of your reactions and master your inner peace, stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools you need to not only withstand disrespect but to rise above it with the wisdom and serenity of a true Stoic. 1. Focus on what you can control. When we face disrespect, it's easy to feel like we're being attacked or judged. It can trigger emotions like anger, frustration, or hurt. But here's where Stoicism can help. One of the core principles of Stoic philosophy is focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. In any situation where you feel disrespected, ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually control? The answer is simple, your response. You can't control other people's behavior, their words, or how they treat you. But you do have complete control over how you respond. This idea is empowering. Instead of getting caught up in someone else's negativity, you can choose to remain calm, composed, and grounded. Stoics believe that we often make ourselves miserable by focusing on things outside our control. When you focus only on what you can control, your emotions, your actions, your mindset, you protect your inner peace. The more you practice this, the less power other people's disrespect will have over you. Your emotional state no longer depends on their words or actions, but on your own decision to stay centered. This simple shift can transform how you experience conflict and negativity. 2. Embrace the practice of indifference. One of the most powerful tools Stoicism offers when dealing with disrespect is the practice of indifference. This doesn't mean you don't care about others or their feelings. Instead, it means you refuse to let someone else's behavior disturb your peace of mind. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius believed that we get upset not because of what happens to us, but because of how we choose to interpret what happens. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to feel personally attacked. But the truth is, their disrespect is more about them and their own issues than about you. It's important to remember that their behavior is not a reflection of your worth. By practicing indifference, you learn to detach emotionally from other people's actions. If someone insults you or criticizes you unfairly, you don't have to absorb their negativity. Instead, you acknowledge their words, but you don't give them power over your emotions. You can let the comment pass by without letting it affect your mood or self-worth. This doesn't mean you don't stand up for yourself when necessary, but it means you don't let every rude comment or disrespectful action shake your inner peace. You become more resilient and emotionally independent, able to respond to negativity with calm rather than reacting impulsively. When you practice indifference, you stop letting the outside world dictate your inner world. 3. Remember, it's not about you. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to take it personally. You might think that their words or actions are an attack on your character, your value, or your dignity. But Stoicism teaches us to look beyond our own feelings and to remember that other people's actions often have very little to do with us. Take, for example, a situation where someone criticizes your work in a harsh and unfair way. You might feel upset, especially if you've put a lot of time and effort into what you've done. But what if their criticism has nothing to do with your performance at all? What if they're projecting their own frustrations, insecurities, or even personal problems onto you? When people lash out or disrespect you, it's often a reflection of their own inner struggles, not a reflection of your worth. Think about a time when someone in your life was rude or dismissive, maybe a coworker, a friend, or even a family member. You might have taken their words personally, but when you step back and look at the bigger picture, you'll often realize that their behavior is influenced by their own stress, dissatisfaction, or unresolved issues. For instance, a colleague who's always critical might be going through personal challenges, such as pressure at home or insecurity about their own work performance. In these cases, their behavior has little to do with you. It's a result of what they're experiencing internally. The Stoic mindset encourages us to separate ourselves from the judgments or behaviors of others. People act the way they do because of their own experiences and inner world, and this doesn't define us. When we remember that disrespect from others is a reflection of their struggles and not a personal attack, we are able to respond with more compassion, and we prevent ourselves from internalizing their negativity. 4. Use criticism as a tool for growth. Criticism is something we all face, whether it's from a colleague, a friend, or even a stranger. It's often uncomfortable, and when it's not delivered kindly, it can feel harsh or unfair. But in Stoicism, we can turn criticism into an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. Consider a situation where a supervisor gives you feedback on a project you worked on. Instead of immediately becoming defensive or upset, ask yourself, is there any truth to this feedback? How can I use this to improve? Even if the criticism is harsh or comes across as rude, there may still be something valuable hidden in it. Maybe your presentation wasn't as clear as you thought, or perhaps there's an area you can refine. By looking at criticism as a tool for improvement, you take the emotion out of the equation and focus on what you can learn from the situation. For example, let's say you've worked hard on a team project, but one of your teammates criticizes your approach in front of others. Your first reaction might be to feel hurt or embarrassed. However, a Stoic approach would involve reflecting on whether there's any constructive element in their feedback. Perhaps their criticism is pointing out a flaw you overlooked, or maybe it's an opportunity to improve your communication skills. By taking a step back and looking for the lesson, you can use that criticism to become better at what you do. This mindset shift doesn't mean you accept every piece of criticism as valid or ignore when someone is being unfair. Instead, you learn to filter out the negativity and focus on the actionable points. In this way, You stop letting criticism discourage you and instead use it as a stepping stone for personal and professional growth. 5. Practice empathy. One of the most powerful tools in responding to disrespect is empathy. While it may sound counterintuitive, trying to understand where the other person is coming from can actually help you maintain your peace and handle the situation with grace. Let's say you're in a disagreement with someone, a coworker, a friend, or even a stranger, and they're being rude or disrespectful. Instead of immediately reacting with frustration or anger, try to pause and consider. What might this person be going through right now? Maybe they're dealing with personal stress, unresolved issues, or a bad day. Maybe their rudeness is a sign of their own pain or insecurity. For example, imagine you're in a heated conversation with a colleague who suddenly snaps at you. Instead of responding with defensiveness or retaliation, you could take a moment to consider their perspective. Perhaps they're under pressure to meet a deadline, or maybe they've just received bad news that has put them on edge. Recognizing that their rudeness is more about their internal struggles than about you can help you respond with understanding instead of anger. Empathy doesn't mean you accept their behavior or let them walk over you. It means you recognize that their actions are often a reflection of their own circumstances, and you can choose not to take it personally. When you approach situations from this place of understanding, it becomes much easier to remain calm and composed, because you're no longer reacting emotionally to their actions. You're responding from a place of awareness, compassion, and control over your own emotions. By practicing empathy, you not only protect your own peace but also contribute to a more respectful and understanding environment. Even if the other person doesn't deserve your compassion, you're showing respect for yourself by keeping your emotional balance intact and refusing to be swept up in their negativity. As we've explored today, Stoic philosophy offers timeless wisdom for handling disrespect with strength and grace. By focusing on what you can control, practicing indifference, remembering that it's not about you, using criticism as a tool for growth, and embracing empathy, you can maintain your peace and dignity, even in the face of negativity. It's not easy, and it's a practice that requires time and self-awareness. But by applying these Stoic principles in your daily life, you'll find yourself less affected by the rude comments or negative behavior of others. Instead, you'll build resilience, emotional control, and a deeper sense of inner strength. So, the next time you face disrespect or criticism, remember that your response is what truly matters. You have the power to rise above it and stay true to your values. You can handle anything with the wisdom of the Stoics. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content on mastering your mindset and living with intention. And if you have any personal stories or experiences related to handling disrespect, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'd love to hear how these principles have helped you. Thank you for watching, and remember, peace is always within your control.